Hi, welcome. This video comes up very spontaneously, or this message comes up very spontaneously, when I fell into the art of life in the sense how it mirrors you. And if you really learn to play with the mirror effect of life and play, it's not like an easy one. It often is a very painful one, but once you see through it, you know actually how to navigate through life. So what I mean with the mirror effect is that we are constantly mirrored by the interaction we have with life, with other people around us, with events that are happening. We are mirrored back to ourselves. And that doesn't mean that it's an exact reflection of ourselves. So it's not like a mirror reflection, that it's an exact copy. So if you see something that you don't like in behavior of others, or towards you, or in general, doesn't mean that that is exactly what you're lacking yourself or have to work on yourself. It's way more subtle than that. You really have to feel into what it is that is reflected, to feel where it is that you have a blind spot for yourself. So the essence, or actually the art, will become to read the signs, to learn more about yourself. So if you're triggered by someone and he pushes something that you don't like to feel, it's not only the reaction of defense that shows you the mirror effect, it's also the deeper layer underneath that, what it actually is that it's so painful for you. And that's often not the exact trigger. So for instance, if you feel left out these days because life becomes very lonely and we are not able to invite each other, and some people do and other people don't, and we can feel quite lonely in this space of being kept in our homes, not able to move socially in the way we like, and we can feel this pain of being rejected, even though there is a logical reason for being rejected, because we're not allowed to do it, or we don't feel allowed to do it. It still can feel as this lonely space that it's not even rejection, it goes deeper than that. It can feel like this space of I don't really matter in this life. I don't really matter that because no one actually sees me right now. And what I'm doing in my little home or in my big home does not really matter to my life or to life in general. And how can I change something in life or influence something in life while I'm stuck in my home or stuck in my very limited social life? And that pain of not to matter tells you something about yourself. And it always is then a reflection where you don't matter towards yourself, where you think for yourself that you don't matter yet, where it is that you don't see the beautiful gifts you have already, that you're not using to its full potential. So what these times tell me especially is that it's so important to find our inner empowerment and find our inner strength and our gifts and really bring it into fruition, even if it's just with little small steps, by creating something new for yourself, or by sharing a message online, or by sharing a beautiful quote that might help others, or by just being there for another person and just listen, even if it's only by phone or by a video call. Because every little thing we do matters. It matters to others, and by acknowledging that it matters, you also acknowledge that you matter yourself. And to matter is really deeply related to this feeling of this deep feeling of existence. Because if we don't have our outer world to confirm, or our inner world to confirm that we exist, then it's this deepest pain of not mattering at all. Because if we don't get this confirmation in our daily life that we exist, that someone sees us, that someone feels us, that someone acknowledges our presence, that someone acknowledges our existence, then we really have to allow this feeling of that, what does existence actually mean? And then we come into the area of death and being alive. And that perhaps goes a little bit too far for now, but just tapping into this feeling of true matter in this world, in this very chaotic world right now, where it's very difficult to find your own inner alignment, your own inner path, your own inner empowerment. It can be so confusing, especially if you're not so skilled yet or trained yet to dive deep within. It feels very chaotic in the first time, and very painful, and very uncomfortable, and very uncertain. But I believe it's now more than ever to really bring ourselves out there in whatever shape or form. It can be very small, can be very large in expression, it can be in little steps. It doesn't really matter what it is. Sorry about that. So yeah, where do you feel you matter? And where do you feel that you take life for granted? And where do you feel that you don't feel gratitude to the things in life that you already have and that's already there? Because we take it for granted. We take nature for granted. We take going outside for granted. At least we've always done. At least most of us. We just assume it was there because we thought we had the freedom to do that. And now we suddenly don't have the freedom so much. And what does that do with us? We can blame the change in laws and the change in regulations and the change in our measurements our governments take. But what that actually reflects back to myself is that I took my freedom for granted, in the sense that I was not really aware of what was, that I took it for granted in its essence. And of course we are supposed to live on this planet in freedom, but we're not there yet, because we haven't really become aware and very conscious of it, that we are supposed to live in freedom, because we take many things for granted. So can you see the paradox of our desire to be free, and at the same time we take things for granted and we end up not feeling free? And with freedom, I don't mean the outer freedom to do whatever you like. I really mean also the inner freedom to act and react and feel free. And feel free to express yourself, and feel free to do the things you want to do. And for myself, I still have a great things to explore there and to share out there. And to be really honest, I'm using these videos these past couple of weeks, 2 weeks I think now, when I started recording again and not sharing this message out in the world, that I started recording again. I hide actually behind this fear of not feeling free and being rejected, or for the fact that I share a message that might not matter. So that's this fear of rejection. That's on the surface of it. And beneath that is this fear of not to matter. And beneath even that is the fear of, what do I even exist? And what does existence mean? And if I don't exist, what does mean? If my identity doesn't exist, what does that mean? And with existence, I don't mean being alive, but just being seen for it. This might sound all very philosophical, and in a sense it is. And in another way of looking at it, it isn't at all. It's just very practical daily life challenges we all face. At least I do. So, for me today is really a next step, perhaps because it's the 1st of the month, the 1st of June, to really become very deeply aware of where I don't matter for myself, where I don't feel that I fully matter, where I don't fully feel myself and see myself and hide myself behind my little fears. Not to open up, not to express, not to share, not to be able to write my book in the way I like to write it. I'm going through this enormous, intense process of writing a book, which I deeply know I desire to do it. I feel so much excitement about it, and at the same time feeling so stuck in the process. And feeling so stuck in the chaos it creates within me. And in the chaos it's also created in how I work. I mean, it's all over the place. So we all matter. Why would we otherwise be alive? Why would we be alive? Why would we have been given life if we wouldn't matter? Then life wouldn't matter. And life is beautiful. Life is amazing. Life is exciting. Life is joyful. Even when we're not allowed to move, you can still feel and open up to this frequency of all the elements of love, all the elements, all the essences of the frequency of love. And with that I mean the essence of seeing the beauty in everything, the beauty in every person you meet, the beauty in nature, the beauty in creation, the beauty in your little activities, which seem irrelevant but are so beautiful. And the joy it all gives when you've accomplished something for yourself or for another person, or for your daily tasks, even if it's cleaning your house, it doesn't really matter. Life itself matters. And if we fully embrace that life matters, then we can fully embrace ourselves, that we matter, that I matter, that you matter. That you have every single right to live fully, not by law, but just because you've been given birth. So this is my deep personal sharing today, and that feels really liberating. And I hope it brings you something. And the fact that you are tuning in on this video is already for a reason. And if you have any questions, please leave them below in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.